A new habit that lasted exactly 4 days before you forgot it existed. Not because you didn't want it, because nothing in your day ever reminded you it was time. Let's fix that. A habit that floats on its own, disconnected from anything else in your day, depends entirely on you remembering to do it. And memory is a terrible foundation for consistency, because it competes with every other thing pulling at your attention that day. The habit doesn't fail because you're forgetful. It fails because it was never attached to anything that would trigger it automatically. Think about how many good intentions get set at the start of a day and quietly vanish by the middle of it. Not from a lack of desire, but because the day filled up with other things demanding attention first, and nothing ever circled back to remind you. A habit with no anchor is competing for mental bandwidth against every notification, conversation, and unexpected task that shows up. And it's competing without any home field advantage at all. It simply loses, over and over, not dramatically but quietly, until it stops being attempted entirely. The fix is habit stacking, attaching the new habit directly to something you already do without thinking, so the existing habit becomes the trigger for the new one. Not meditate more, but after I pour my morning coffee, I meditate for 2 minutes. The existing routine does the remembering for you, so the new habit stops depending on willpower or memory at all. The mechanism works because your existing habits already run on autopilot. You don't have to remind yourself to brush your teeth or make coffee, because years of repetition turn those into automatic cues. Habit stacking borrows that same automaticity for something new, by physically or sequentially attaching the new behavior to the old one. The old habit becomes a built-in alarm that goes off at exactly the right moment every single day, without you ever having to consciously remember it's coming. A floating habit gets attempted a handful of times in the first week, then quietly disappears once the initial enthusiasm fades, because nothing in the day naturally brings it to mind again. A stacked habit gets triggered every single time the anchor habit happens, which, if the anchor is a genuine daily routine, means the new habit gets a built-in reminder every day without you having to think about it once. Trace this out across a month. The floating habit shows up for 3 or 4 days, then disappears from view. Not consciously abandoned, just forgotten amid everything else. The stacked habit is still running 30 days later, not because the person doing it has more discipline, but because the coffee still gets poured every single morning, and the new habit rides along on that existing momentum without needing any separate willpower of its own. First, pick an anchor habit you already do without fail: brushing teeth, making coffee, sitting down at your desk. Second, make the new habit small enough that it comfortably fits right after the anchor, not something that requires a big transition. Third, use the exact phrasing after I, anchor, I will, new habit. The specificity makes the trigger much stronger than a vague intention. On the second tip specifically, the new habit should feel like a natural continuation of the anchor, not a separate event requiring its own setup and mental gear shift. After I pour my coffee, I write one sentence in my journal. Works because it fits inside the same moment. After I pour my coffee, I go for a run doesn't, because it demands a completely different context. Match the size and setting of the new habit to the anchor it's riding on, or the stack itself becomes the new thing you have to remember. A new habit alone is easy to forget. A habit stacked onto something you already do starts itself. Next episode, the sunk cost trap, why we keep going with things that stopped working. Follow along so you don't miss it.